Hi, guys. Welcome to a new episode of the Vertex Podcast. Today, we are joined by a special guest. She's the game designer behind some of the coziest, most emotionally rich titles in the industry. From the mysterious, beautiful world of Everwild to the heartfelt storytelling of Cozy Grove and to the wildly colorful world of Merge Dragons. With over a decade in the games industry, she's now shaping the future of play at Rare as a senior game designer. Today, we are diving into the design mind of Nina Kim to talk about player emotion, creative roadblocks, and what it really takes to make games mean something. Nina, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here.
So, um, let's just get dive right into it. So, if you had to describe your game design style using three animals, which ones would you pick and why?
Three animals. Oh, wow. Um, this took me off guard. Um, let's say fox, because they're very playful and a little bit trolly. Mischievous. Um, let's see. Actually, like similar to foxes, cats. They're
Yeah.
also quite playful, but they're also cautious too. So they'll look and kind of observe their surroundings and then proceed with caution. Um, kind of assess the situation and then react to that. And they also um, don't always cater to what you want. It's more like they know how you're gonna react to their actions, and they're kind of pushing for certain reactions, regardless of like whether it's what you expect. They always take you off guard. um, and then sometimes they indulge and and they're like, okay, you can pet me. So that makes me sound very mischievous. So I will also say dog because they're very loyal and they just want you to be happy and they want you to have like a little cozy environment with them. So those would be my three animals.
Nice. That's a very good pick. Um, Now, since we're talking about game design games, what's a game that you've recently played that completely surprised you?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to I mean recently I was playing a lot of Spiritfarer and I really love Spiritfarer. um just because of how well it's done. Like the story is so touching and it doesn't feel like it's tacked on. It's very meaningful. It made me cry. All the characters have like very distinct personalities and a tie to you. And the mechanics are really well made. Like there's a lot of bits that you do in the game where I'm like, this is very like structurally sound. Like you build stuff and that feels great. You catch these stars, falling stars. It's great. Like everything is very refreshing. Yeah, refreshing and satisfying.
That's very interesting. For me, I've been playing Persona Reload 3 so far. I've been really enjoying it. I might go and get the other Persona games, but I've also started playing Mass Effect. I've never played the trilogy before, and my usual policy is if I know something's if I won't look for spoilers, but I'll see if something's like emotionally charged where it could make me cry. I'll try to steer clear from that because I if I start crying, it's hard to stop. It takes a while before I can stop. So I'm like, I don't want to get to that point. So I usually try to be like, let's not go in that territory. It's a lot of work trying to stop crying. So and I was not sure about Mass Effect because I don't know the story, right? Because I went into it with like I selected the easiest mode I can play it on because I'm more interested in the story. And this was because my friend recommended Mass Effect. I was like, yes, you should try this. It's gonna be so much fun. You're gonna love it. And now I kind of feel betrayed because I did read somewhere on Reddit who this person was like, it there is some emotional bits in there. You might cry if you're someone who easily cries. And that's literally me. I'll break down in a second if I have to. So I'm hoping that I can pull through because so far it seems like a very interesting story. So
Yes, it's one of the best. And the way that they frame the camera really suits the way that the story is told and how you have dialogue with the characters. I kind of think of it, it's so strange. Maybe this isn't a good comparison. Like the old Star Trek, The Next Generation. Like there's always like in a lot of sci-fi shows and stuff, like they have the close-in shots and like specific framing of the camera that makes it feel very intimate and kind of well curated. So I think that's done really well in the Mass
I
Effect
agree.
series. Yeah.
Like I do find it extremely cinematic and so far extremely well written because there are so many times where a game could be nice, but if the story and dialogue is terribly written, it just takes away all so much from the game.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
also give a lot of credit to the voice actors as well. Like good writing and voice acting when they're paired, like, oh, it's so great.
yeah,
Feels very natural. I felt some of that from Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Some of the dialogue is just so natural. Like it's unusual. It's not what I would expect from just generic game dialogue, and it takes me off guard and it makes me laugh. I actually have like a weird sense of humor. I don't know if it's like my Korean upbringing, like I didn't know how to be sarcastic or anything, but like it's really hard for me to laugh out loud. So when I find games that make me laugh out loud, I'm really impressed. I'm like, oh, that really surprised me. And that's one of the games where the oh, everything's so unusual in that game. The environment, like it kind of looks like the pieces don't really fit together, but it's like consistent through the whole game, so it's not like it
yeah,
works. And there's
yeah,
like a lot of like really strange bits and pieces that take me off guard, but it's like because the whole game is like that, it really fits and it's very again refreshing.
yeah.
I like these refreshing games. Yeah.
In in terms of funny games, like I would say Portal, the dialogue, the way it's written, I really do find that very entertaining because I like that sort of sense of humor and sarcasm that they have in Portal. Because
Yes.
it on surface level it sometimes sounds rude, but then it's just still funny. And also, I would say Oblivion, because I've not played Oblivion myself, but I saw my friend playing Oblivion and it is hilarious. The kind of things I was seeing, I was like, my God, it's like there are obviously there are mistakes, but those mistakes are what make Oblivion
Exactly.
Oblivion. So and
Yeah.
my friend was playing the newly released the remastered version, and it's just hilarious. Just like it's the same game but with like better visuals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Um, Same
yeah,
thing with a lot of the Atlas games like Persona, Catherine, even with like Metaphor, like everything's super unusual and they have moments of
yeah.
kind of unexpected humor. So yeah, it's really
Uh,
great.
Weird choice. Persona makes me. I when I started playing Persona, I thought it was a little weird, just for the reason that I get the idea that, oh, you form bonds with people and then you get these personas because that's relatable, that's realistic. And I think in my head, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like, in a way, like Pokemon, but like slight, there's like a twist on it. The weird bit, though, is them taking guns and shooting themselves in the head to someone that I was like, this is why is it so weird? And since we're talking of weird design ideas, what's the weirdest design idea you have ever seriously considered putting in a game?
Oh, the weirdest design ideas. Oh no, we've had so many. Because I do game jams with my friends and like, well, are we talking about a I can't because professionally, I don't usually like consider that as much because it's usually like a straight up no. But game jam wise, we've had a lot of weird stuff that we have done. We did a game jam where it was a post-apocalyptic home decoration game show and you're
Oh, wow.
competing against other players in decorating your slice of house, and you have two different styles of furniture and decor that you're trying to succeed in, but everyone else is stealing stuff from you because they don't want you to score points, and they also want to score their own points, and then the categories overlap in one of the categories in some ways. So you're just like slapping each other and stealing furniture and that's the game. It's super weird. Um, we also have a jam where you're two monsters. It's a co-op game. You're two monsters, and you have these little creatures. They're like, it's so strange. There's like little coffee cups or little stars or shapes, and the goal is to transform them into the right creatures to feed them to this giant monster in the middle. But the only way to transform them is to put one in your mouth, and then it pops out the other creature's mouth as a different like modification. So it's like, I know if I put this star in my mouth and it pops out of the other player's mouth, it becomes a blue star instead of a red star. And then the monster is like, I want to eat a purple star. You're like, okay, how do we get to purple? And so you're just constantly passing. It is super weird. But yes.
That does sound very weird, but at the same time, that also sounds very, very entertaining.
It's very entertaining. I think for our game jams, because oftentimes in the industry, like especially in like larger corporate studios, you're not allowed to explore as much in the weird zone. Same thing with like mobile free to play. Sometimes you get little like chances too, but for the most part, it's kind of like a safe bet. And so when we meet for our game jams, we don't try to do anything commercially sound. We're just like, what's the weirdest thing we can make? So, yeah, it's very
That
fun.
that sounds that sounds like a good time though.
It
When
is.
like creating something outside of like professional boundaries when you're like not supposed to be following rules of the company or whatever it is. Like it's I think that sort of creative freedom is it's good to have that time because then when you get back to work, you just feel so much more refreshed and you can do your job that much better.
Yeah, yeah, it is very refreshing, but there's also very strange things that happen. So when you practice outside of work and you're doing the weirdest things and you're taking risks, you get this information that you wouldn't get at work. It's like, oh, if you implement it in this way, you get this result from players. And it's like you can take little bits of that that may not be as weird and then apply it to your work situation. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And since we are talking about just, working in working in the company, I'd like to know a bit more about your journey. So where did your journey in game design really begin? And was there like what was it like a defining moment or it just sort of built up slowly?
It built up slowly. Really, I have my friends and good mentors and managers to thank, and family members. So I didn't really know what I was doing. My parents wanted me to be a doctor, and then or a figure skater. It's very strange. I trained for like 14 years to be a figure skater, but um, I tore my ACL, so that's that. And um, with studying to be a doctor, I started stressing out so much that I took physical damage. Like, I shrank an inch, my hair started turning white, I had chest pains, and my parents took me to the hospital and they were like, she's just too stressed. You need to like figure that out. And so they were like, you can go to art school. Will that help your stress? I'm like, I guess so. Because my high school teachers told my parents like she should go into art. And I always told them, no, my parents want me to be a doctor, and they pushed really hard for me. And my parents were like, she could be an artist after she's become a doctor. Sorry, this is a very long-winded answer, but eventually they're like, yes, go to art school. The art school was like, you should go into the game art and design program because you like games, which I didn't know was a thing. I didn't believe in my art, so it was a hard time. Uh, my friend recommended me for a community moderator job. And then my brother got me into a customer support job at Big Fish, and then I just kind of like kept moving departments because my managers kept pushing me. They were like, "You're a creative person. You should go somewhere else." So they would put me into QA, and in QA, I was interested in production, but my friends wanted to do design, so I started a club and asked the designers if we could pitch to them. I personally thought I was too stupid to be a designer, so I didn't want to go into it. But the designers there really encouraged me to apply. And it was a blind test, and they ended up hiring me. So it was it was all kind of accidental, really. I did like kind of go in that way where it was like, oh, I love art, but ended up in design unintentionally. Yeah.
That's quite the journey though. It's not like one thing led to the other. And when you say like it's a happy accident, like Bob Ross would say,
Yeah.
it's a happy accident. But I feel like I have seen so many other creative people who a bit similar to you question their abilities, who question are they good enough. And I just if I can for the folks watching it, listen, if you're questioning yourself, just do it. Like just I know it's easier said than done, but if you take that first step, if you just go pursue, take a chance because someone's got to take a chance on you. It could be you getting lucky and someone giving you an opportunity, or you taking a chance on yourself and just going out there, talking to people and being like, "Hey, I want to do this. I think I might be able to pull it off. Can you give me an opportunity?" And it may or may not work, but if you take a chance on yourself, that'll really boost your confidence because you are like an amazing designer. And I hope you're aware of that now because I can understand it's natural as creative people to like question ourselves, to have imposter syndrome. But at the same time, there has to be a point in time where you have to like just think of it as okay, I really enjoy this. Like I'm doing this, I'm producing work. If I was genuinely that bad, I would not even create anything in the first place. So if I'm doing this, I have something in me. So just take that and run with it.
I definitely still experience imposter syndrome, and for a long time, imposter syndrome was a phrase that was hard for me to even use. It was like, oh no, that's for people who are actually good and doubt themselves. So, but now I'm recognizing it just through like good mentors and like, my close ones. They're like, no, no, here's some evidence. And it's really good. One of my managers gave me a piece of advice where he told me to just kind of log everything that I've done in the day, um, and consider them achievements because like you've done progress. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's just fabricating stuff. Like everyone does this. And he's like, no, not everyone does this. Some people are at home, like scratching their butts, doing nothing. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I did it. And it was actually really helpful because, like, even with like building CVs and resumes, like, I could see everything that I'd done and I could see everything like comparing to like other like CVs that I've had. It's like, oh, like I've done a lot. There's a lot that I can pull from here that other people don't know, which was very helpful. And it's also, there's this weird thing about success. We have so much pressure on this idea of success. Like, oh, I gotta try, and then if I fail, then I've really failed. It's like, no, no, it's a process. Like, um, it shouldn't be that much pressure on like trying. Trying is you're doing well. Like that is success. You are trying, and that is the first like piece of success. And it's weird, like we just have to reframe it. It's like as long as you're taking steps, you are succeeding. You're not
Yeah,
failing.
I
Um,
I want sorry, carry on.
oh no, and then like if you do like fail, it's not failure. It's just you're learning, and that's more success. It's yeah, it's a very weird framing that we have in society where like it puts all the pressure, but honestly, the more you do it, the more you put yourself out there and practice and like, try stuff. Um, you are succeeding. You're already succeeding,
Yeah,
and as you've said, and it's also like everyone starts somewhere. And as
yeah,
long as you like what you're doing, shouldn't that be the thing that matters? It's like if you don't like what you're doing, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it. Maybe look at something else and like find something else. There's no shame in that. Like everyone likes different things. Just find your way. But like an experiment and it doesn't happen right away, but like you can find it. And as long as you like it, like that, sometimes I think that's the thing to focus on. It's like, what do you want out of this? What are you getting out of this? Yeah.
I I agree. I was actually going to bring very similar points up, like the manager who recommended that you log things. I was going to bring that up because it really so many times like a day goes by and a lot of us are like, oh, nothing much happened. I went to work, drank coffee, whatever. And then when you look back, a year has gone by and so much has happened in that year. And I feel like that's the whole point of it, that like if you are doing things in a day, log things down, like write it down. If you don't want to write it down, maybe type it out in your phone. If you don't want to do a notes app thing, maybe you record yourself if you feel comfortable. I do that. Like sometimes I'll keep a video diary where I'll just like film myself and I'll just say what happened during the entire day, what I did, what I did not do. I'll kind of pretend like I'm talking to my best friend. And I'll just, and when I look back, I realize, oh, I have actually done so many things. And also, when you think about it, like whatever age you may be at the moment, I'm in my mid 20s, but back when I was 16, I was like hoping that I could do so much better. I was dreaming that someday I'll do better. At my age, I can look back and I can be like, I am everything that 16-year-old me was hoping. I have achieved everything she was expecting, she was hoping we'd accomplish. So there is always that progress that you're making. The only time you'll fail if you quit, that's when sure you've failed. That is conditional though. If you're quitting because you know the thing is not good for you and you don't want to pursue it anymore, that's not failure, that's still progress. I felt like I had to mention that because
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel like, oh, if I quit, I fail. Like, quit if it is not good for you. Quit if you are not enjoying it, if you feel like I can't bring myself to do this. Like, quit then. But if you're quitting simply because it's like gotten a bit tough, don't. Resilience will pay off along, in the big longer run.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I usually it's like a delicate balance because it's hard to tell like do I like this or do I hate this or do I hate it because I'm failing an idea of failure. But usually it's like for me it's like um I'm pretty determined. I'm like, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm gonna keep trying." But like I give myself a time limit. So it's like I'm gonna do this by then and if I can't do it by this time, am I satisfied with that? And I give like reasonable time limit. And then if like I'm feeling like it's taking me down, like if I'm gonna ruin myself because of this, then like there's no harm in taking a break and then reassessing. And like maybe that break lasts forever because you're like, I've actually found that I like this other thing. So
Yeah, that's another thing that nobody like nobody said don't take a break. Take breaks if you need. But if taking breaks is going to help you recoup and then continue pursuing whatever it is that you are, take as many breaks as needed. Like I am not a big believer in like work 20 hours a day. Like I feel like you want to work in a way where it's sustainable. So if you're going to work in a way where you're just doing like 17, 18 hours of work a day nonstop, and then you just you're physically exhausted, you're mentally exhausted, you're not giving yourself a break, you're not eating properly, it's not going to be sustainable. You're going to burn out, you're going to hate what you're doing, and then you're going to be like, you know what, this is not good. Screw this, I'm going to leave. Don't, just
Yeah.
don't.
I mean, especially in creative fields, like your brain that wants to be creative and wants to have fun and create beautiful things needs a break. It needs
Yeah,
to rest. You need to take care of yourself in order to like really like be at your best, right? So, I always I think we've talked about this before, but it was like treating yourself well
yeah,
is really helpful. Like treating yourself as you would treat someone you care about. And like appreciating yourself in the moment as well, because I always look back on my younger self and I'm like, oh, I should have appreciated myself more. Why did I?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like when you so another thing is just when we try to put too much pressure, the creative flow, it's bound to interrupt the creative flow because if you're going to sit down, I'm sure this was actually I discussed a similar thing in one of the previous episodes, but if you sit down and you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to create, like if I sit down and think I'm going to create an environment that's so unique, so mind-blowing, it's going to be epic, it's going to be the highlight of my career, and nobody's going to top this, it's not happening. Because now I have put that pressure on me that I'm going to create this insanely, unimaginably beautiful environment. That's not how you would function. Like you would this is just my perspective, but I feel most people would creatively function the best when they have no pressure. So if I sit down and just say, you know what, I will see what comes out of me. Like I'll try getting into a flow. There's no pressure for me to create anything stunning. If it's bad, it is what it is. It's part of the process. And it's usually at those times where I'll genuinely create things that are very beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's another thing as an artist if you think like it is shit, but you know, also I don't know if YouTube's gonna allow that word, but oh well, sorry. I think it should.
Um, but yeah, I agree. It's like don't put yourself in a box either. Like, why are you putting all these constraints on yourself and like let yourself be free?
Yeah,
And enjoy the little things. We often in the industry are like, we have to innovate, we have to make something that no one has ever seen before. But like, there's some things in like making a simple cup of coffee that tastes great. Like it
yeah.
exceeds everyone's expectations in being the best simple cup of coffee ever. Yeah, enjoying the
That's
little
true.
things in life.
That actually makes genuinely so much more of a difference because I had fallen into this rut of just pushing myself to work like, really long hours, and then I would not take any time out for myself. And that I had experienced proper burnout. I'd reached a point where I was unable to function anymore, and I was basically forced to step back from whatever it is I was working on because I was just trying to push myself because in my head I was like, if I work hard, it'll turn out nice. And hard work does play a role, but not 100% of it. And once I stepped back and I started having a better routine where in the morning I'll take some time out for myself. It's a slower morning. I'll make a cup of tea or coffee, just relax a little, go work out, come back, or do anything of the sort. Maybe read a book, maybe draw something, anything to just ease into the day. My productivity really shot up. And also when I started capping the time I was working. So for me, I put a time that after 7 p.m., I'm not working. That's the max I'm allowed to work. 7 p.m., I have to step away from the laptop or the computer. I'm not allowed to function. So now my brain was like, oh, 7 p.m. is coming soon. I need to finish it, whatever I'm doing, because I can't do work after that. And it has helped. Like when you set those boundaries, it just helps so much more.
I think time boxing has been the greatest thing I've learned this year because with so I have a real problem of saying yes to everyone. And that like really just like you don't have to do everything, but like I just want to do everything. I'm like I should be able to do everything. But I've learned like one, like you can delegate that work to someone who either like does it quicker or excels in that. There's no problem with like learning if you want to learn it or like, pushing for a quality that you want. But like if you have too much on your plate, it's gonna be better for you to either say no or like find someone who can do it well and you're working as a team because you're working as a team. You're not solo. Like really like leverage the fact that like you're working together, you care about each other, you're going to make something together. So that really helped me. And time boxing stuff also helped. I learned recently that I have ADHD, and I was like, oh, that explains so much. And once I started organizing stuff in a certain way and time boxing things and I use a whole bunch of timers. It makes everything so clear. It's like, oh, I have this much time to, iterate on this feature. And once that timer goes off, I'm like, okay, I made pretty good progress with this because like I knew the timer was going to end and then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to work on the next task and it's just very helpful.
Yeah, it really helps maintain like a nicer creative flow. And since you were talking about working in a team and working together, I want to pivot to some of the games you have worked on. So you've worked on a lot of games. You've worked on games like Cozy Grove, and Merge Dragons. Um, that and there are many games that hit emotional notes and many games that don't. And what draws you to that kind of experience, to create that kind of an experience?
I mean it's the most important to me. Um, just because like games are one of the few I mean it's there's a lot of mediums that touch that emotional aspect, but games can put the player in like a very immersive environment where they're like kind of living the experience, which is like, I think it's so special. And I want to help people like feel different things and gain different perspectives. Because throughout life, I realize like there's a lot of experiences and perspectives that I've had that people never had or they don't understand. And the more that we understand each other, the closer we get. And I really like that. I mean, there's a lot of loneliness in the world. There's a lot of misunderstandings going on, especially with like short form social media like we just say things in little blurbs and misunderstand each other all the time. So like and like emotionally like there's a lot of problems in the world. So like it's kind of a downer. So like making experiences that like touch people and like, kind of bring them peace or make them happy. Sometimes make them feel sad just because like they know that they're not alone in feeling this emotion. Like that's just the most important to me. Yeah.
That's very insightful because I not the I understand that people obviously do create that is part of the process to create an emotional impact. It's very insightful to learn how much designers are connected to creating that sort of an impact. I'm sure there are some designers who may not be as connected, but it's good to know the process, the depth at which you think when you are working on different games. Now, can you walk us through a system or a mechanic that you're proud of that felt emotionally resonant to the players?
Emotionally resonant. There's well, there's there's I mean there's like little emotions sprinkled here and there. When we were I might just like go around around the block. In Cozy Grove, we were making the cats and their behaviors, and that was really fun. It may not be like the most emotional thing in Cozy Grove, but it was also like uh, considering how cats make people feel and the special thing about cats and like what that brings to people and as well as like I'm not a writer of Cozy Grove, but there were some pieces of dialogue that I had to put together, and it is sort of like taking a look at um, the existing character stories and being like, oh, what does that mean to the player, and how would they feel in this moment? It's kind of weird. It's like considering the character's emotions rather than like the player's emotions specifically. And then when it comes to mechanics, like it doesn't even have to be like I want to create an emotion where people feel sad or they think about their parents. It's like sometimes it's just the act. So in Merge Dragons, there's a series of levels where I focused on a gestural feeling. And so it felt quite musical because you would play something and it would kind of encourage you the way that the level is built out. It would encourage you to place it in a certain area, and then that would cause something to pop out of it, and it would land in another area, and it would cause like kind of a Rube Goldberg effect. But I did it in like beats of three or beats of two, and like because the pattern kind of matched up, it gave people a feeling of ease and relaxation because a lot of the times when you give people like a rhythm it kind of gets them to relax and the same thing goes for like meditation and things like that so like while it's not like a direct emotion I kind of like that I think that's probably my proudest thing because it's so restricted. It's like, okay, you only have this level to work with. How are you going to make people feel? And it's like, oh, well, I'm going to do a gestural rhythmic thing and see if that affects their like well-being. And it's a lot of design is like, what can you do with the bare minimum, right? It's like, how can I be efficient with things? Because game development takes a long time. It's very costly. So like, if you it's kind of like the old show MacGyver. It's like, oh, here's a paper clip and some duct tape and um I don't know, old yogurt tin, like a yogurt cup. Now make people feel with this. And then it's like, if you can, then wow, that's an achievement, right? So
Yeah. That I believe that that is one of the things that makes being a creative person so meaningful and purposeful, that it's an incredible feeling when when you create something and it helps someone, even if you didn't know, but it helped someone out in a big way. Maybe like, for example, like playing Merge Dragons, and you said there's like you designed it like in beats of two and three, and it created like this calming effect. It just is like a happy feeling knowing that maybe someone out there was playing the game, perhaps had a stressful day at work or something, played the game, felt more relaxed and calm, and that just improved their day. That's like such a good feeling.
yeah,
And yeah,
there's also like a lot of like things that narrative can do. I mean, narrative is like a very good m mechanic or tool for, creating emotion. Merge Dragons was quite limited in narrative, and so we tried an event where a lot of their live events is like you just kind of like heal the land and you go as far as you can and you hit like kind of a hard wall. And then you have to really grind. And so we try to make it easier on players and then have little sprinkles of story as you heal the land so that it made sense and it kind of gave you a reason to heal the land. And then you also got to get to know like characters, dragon characters, and kind of like put more attachment to those characters. Like, why do I care about this specific dragon? Oh, I know a dragon named Bob that was this type of dragon, and they were in this level. And then, like, each each event that had that narrative was like, oh, I get to see a little bit more of their life. And so, yeah, I think narrative is also a really good way to put emotion in your games.
and since we're talking about emotions, have you ever designed something that was emotionally either just too heavy or maybe emotionally just not too heavy that you felt like, okay, I need to pivot this. We need to kind of make it a bit more balanced.
Um, I mean, I actually lean in, like, so I don't really mind being too emotional. Sorry to you, because I know how do you feel about emotional games. I'm like, yeah, sob, open mouth sob. That's the good stuff. Because I personally like doing that. Like, I'm a weirdo. Like, I would get really emotionally affected, and I would go to there's this one like pho place that I would go to in Seattle, and I'd just like cry and eat fried rice. They probably thought I was crazy, but it's just like kind of feels good because it's like I want to feel. But yeah, sorry, long-winded answer. Um, my friends and I were like designing a game that we frequently talk about called Mermaid Grandma. And it's kind of messed up, but it's like um it's about a you have a grandma and she believes that she's a mermaid and she keeps telling you she's a mermaid and you're like taking care of her in her old days and she's like very close to like, the end and she keeps you think that she's just crazy and she keeps trying to escape and like go into the ocean and you're like, no, no, do that. You're not a mermaid, grandma. You're my grandma. Like, stop. You need to take your meds. And it's really messed up because like throughout the process you're like, wait, is she a mermaid? And you're like, no, like don't do it. And so like it's um very emotionally affecting, but it's also kind of like playing off the feeling that some people get of like I'm old. Like, I don't want to be an old person. I want to be this mystical creature and end it in a very magical way. Like I'm done. Like I'm ready. And there's like just so many perspectives tied to it that but it when I tell people about it, it's kind of it feels kind of dark, but I am a dark person. So, I mean, I feel really bubbly, but like I am a very dark person. So, yeah, I lean into it.
I mean, that's good. Like as a player, I am not against getting emotional. My only trouble is that like I sometimes will, like I mentioned before, like I'll struggle controlling like happiness, anger, irritation, those sort of emotions I'm a lot better at controlling. There's just something about those emotions where I'm like, I can control this. It's fine. So if there's a scene that's making me very angry or anything, I'm like, it's okay. It's just a fictional story. It's just a game. Don't take it that it's not that deep. I'll calm down. I'll be fine. But if it's something that's gonna make me cry, and if a single tear falls from my eyes, I'm like, oh no, I'm done for. Because now I'm not gonna stop crying. It's just
I
really.
totally understand. I'm a very emotional person when it comes to people. My husband makes fun of me for this because like he's like, "Why are you this way?" I worry about everyone. I care about everyone. Like even like a stranger that I pass on the street, I'm like, "Oh, look like they were tired. Like how could I take care of them?" And he's like, "What's wrong with you? Like you gotta like compartmentalize some of this stuff because like they won't even remember you and they're probably fine and like I just care too much about that and so when something happens to someone like it really affects me like I will
I
waterworks and everything yeah.
I can relate because I am like that, but I would say I think I've learned to sort of like um be like I care about everybody. Like I could be walking down the street if I see someone, I'm like, man, I hope this person has a good day. It's weird, but sometimes my brain will think like that. But at the same time, I also have this balance where I'm like, I care about other people, but I have to make sure I'm fine first because if I am not fine myself, I am not gonna be able to, worry about other people. I can't take care of them even if I want to. It's just gonna make sure I'm okay, and then we can like help other people.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best advice. I'm still working on that personally. I will work myself to ruin because I'm like thinking about other people. So, but it's okay. It's a work in progress.
Now I want to pivot a little to your current role. Like you are currently a senior designer at Rare. What drew you to Rare, and what is it like working for a studio that has like such a incredible legacy?
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that their games are so quirky and they have this humor in it. It's very unique to Rare, I think. It's very playful and they have this like ambition to innovate and like do grand things and make games that they haven't seen other studios do. And so I was really interested in that, but also like recently they've been working on multiplayer games and I really love multiplayer games because like there's community surrounding that you can play with friends and I've always personally like I've hit rough patches in my life where when I play multiplayer games I've met so many friends and I've had so many experiences that I can't like replicate. Um, and so yeah, that's mainly why I was interested, and I don't regret it. Like I really, all the people there are amazing, um, and it's just a really good batch of people, and I love what they're striving for.
That's really nice. Now I'm gonna ask a question. You can feel free to decline if you can't talk about it without getting into spoilers. Can you tell us a little about the world or tone of Everwild?
I'm actually not sure if I can.
That
Um,
only if you're allowed to. If it's top secret, I understand.
yeah, I mean, I guess generally. What can I hint at? We do want to make players feel good. So
Okay.
there will be an element of design that focuses on allowing players to feel good.
Okay. And
Is
since
how I
okay,
would say
since
it.
you've mentioned design, um, how has your design process evolved while working on Everwild compared to your earlier projects?
Oh, that's a big question. Okay, so even working at Rare, so working on through different teams and different genres and different platforms, all of that came into play. Um, in the beginning, I worked on quite small teams, and through indies and mobile free to play, that's quite efficient. It's like you don't have as many resources and maybe not as much funding. Um, and so you have to make things quite efficiently. It's like cut the fat, um, kind of innovate on top of things you have, make variants of stuff, use what you have. And the teams are quite tight knit. So communication is much easier because it's a smaller team and you can kind of like collaborate easier. Whereas on bigger teams, the communication becomes harder because gigantic teams, you're not talking to everyone. Um, Sometimes, like, if there's leads missing or people who are, owning that communication, then the communication falls apart. So it's a lot of learning how to communicate and keep in touch with everyone, keep in touch with a grander vision. Um, and vision alignment is a huge thing. It's like constantly trying to align with, especially if it's a theme or vision that hasn't been done before. Um, when you innovate, it's like, okay, well, what is this thing then? And it's a big risk, right? And so it's like, okay, you really have to put in the extra work to make sure that you and your team are on the same page. Um, and when it comes to design, it's a lot of experimentation and iteration because you like if it's something that hasn't been proven out before, then there's a lot of experimentation involved. Whereas in mobile, it's like, okay, well, this has been done before and it's proven. And we also have a live game so we can push it out and test it on people and see what they think. And if they don't like it, we just scrap it from the game. Whereas Everwild hasn't been released yet. And so it's like we don't have the benefit of pushing out in a live game and being like, oh, what does data say? Do people like this? And there is like a grander sense of things where like the progression is quite elongated and everything is much more expensive. Um, and like this is one of the few games where like I've had to think about narrative a bit more, whereas like the mobile games, we don't touch it as much. Um, and so it is sort of like a lot of world building aspects that's tied into the design. Yeah.
That's very interesting, and I'm super excited for the release. I'm waiting for it to come out so I can go check it out. Um, in retrospect, like looking back, what are some of the things you thought mattered early in your career, and now you realize that oh, it was not a big deal.
Mattering. Uh, that's a good question. I think uh, I thought that math was a huge thing. Like a lot of like the technical aspects of design were the most important to design, is what I thought early in my career. But there's a lot of aspects of design that actually have more weight. Like right now, I don't work that much in engine, as much as like in my previous roles. Um, but it's more about keeping the whole vision in mind and designing features with like a holistic view and understanding player perspectives is a huge thing, and soft skills with the team is also a big thing. Like that's something that I think is taken for granted or not like prioritized is soft skills, because if you're working in a team and you don't want to work in a team, or if you don't treat people with respect, or if you don't know how to communicate, or you're not willing to communicate in a certain way, that can affect the project a ton. And um, it may be okay for solo devs, but but yeah, I've found that that's very important. So yeah.
That's again super interesting, and I agree with the soft skills one. I think this has come up in quite a few of the previous episodes where it's it's always boiled down to the skills being like a good balance between your hard skills, like technical skills that you can design well, you can create well, you understand the concepts and you have a solid foundation, and then you also know how to talk to other people, and they just go so much more hand in hand because you could have this amazing idea that's like so good and people would genuinely enjoy it, but you are unable to communicate that idea with other people. You're unable to sell that idea to your team, to your manager. It can be a bit challenging that way. So it is always so much more helpful when you know how to speak and communicate to people. And it's just a buildable skill too, because there are times where I feel like there are folks out there who assume that, oh, you have to be an extrovert. I'm just shy and I'm an introvert. I can't do it. I'm telling you, it's a buildable skill coming from a former awkward, socially awkward, didn't know how to talk to people. And I also am an introvert, but here I am
I
doing a podcast.
I completely agree. I'm also an introvert and I am scared of talking to people. I don't know if you can tell, but I am terrified any anytime I anytime I talk to someone. Um, but it is like you can learn and you can do it in your own way too. Like my lead is an introvert. She's more like she's not very like outspoken, but she takes her time to prepare and she delivers her communication in her own way. And it's very different than other leads that I've had, but it's very effective. And so I think, yeah, I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. And it's also communication is very nuanced, right? Like everyone has a different way of communicating, and that can be affected by their culture, the way, their personalities, like any sort of thing that's affected them, their mood, their like, journey in life. Every little thing can really play into like how they communicate or how they take communication. So like the way I communicate with one person is different than the way that I communicate with others. So um, it's hard because when I was younger, it was sort of like, oh yeah, I just need to get along with people. That's what like team fit means. That's what soft skills mean. But it's so much more nuanced. It's like, oh, some people like getting their communication in text-based form. Some people like talking. Some people like them in lists, like
Yeah.
bulleted list. Like, and so it really is getting to know people on a person-to-person level. Yeah.
And also just not having, I feel like sometimes um people can feel pressured when they are trying to break out of that, like, I'm introverted, I can't speak to people loop. When you're trying to break out of that, if you can help it, try not putting pressure on yourself that you have to be this cool, charismatic person and that you're gonna have to talk well and do this and do that. Just genuinely be speak how you would normally speak. Just try and be your most natural self if you can help it. I'm not saying be an open book to people. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you don't have to put pressure on yourself that you have to speak or talk or like communicate a certain way. Whatever is comfortable for you, as long as you're polite and respectful, that is good enough. That's a good start. And you'll find your stride from there because it's like building skills is a lot like going to the gym. You go to the gym, you pump some iron, you're going to start slowly. You follow a diet, you're going to start building muscle slowly. The more you do it, the more reps you do, the stronger you get, the more muscle you build. Similar with skills. It will be uncomfortable to begin with, but then when you keep talking, 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 it kind of builds and you eventually get comfortable. And
Absolutely.
also, other people are not judging you as much as you think. Because when I started this podcast, I was thinking, oh my God, everyone's going to hate it and nobody's going to like it. And people are going to tell me that, what are you doing? This is not for you. And I, I stand corrected. And also to the folks watching right now, I just want to say thank you for taking time to watch this because I did go through a few of the comments on YouTube. I'm usually pretty terrified of going on the comment section, but I did go and I saw the nice comments everyone's left. And thank you so much for doing that. It really means a lot to me because I am genuinely trying to put out as useful and valuable of an episode that I can. And it makes me incredibly happy to know that you guys are enjoying it and you guys are finding it useful. So thanks for that. That's that's a good example right there that
Yeah.
people are not as judgy as you may think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you hit on so many points that I want to talk about. So like your latest point, like people are generally just wanting you wanting to support you. Like
Yeah.
people are very nice a lot of the times. I just did a GDC talk recently and I was so scared because I hate speaking in front of people, and my mentor gave me like a really good frame of mind where it was like people, like if you mess up with filler words and you stumble and you sound weird, like people aren't gonna remember that. They're gonna remember your intentions. They're gonna remember your feelings, how you like what you wanted to share with them. They're gonna remember the core. And if that's your authentic self, if you really truly want to share this information with people because it's meaningful to you and you think it will like be useful or valuable to them, they'll get that. That message will come through, and you don't have to be perfect in the way that you speak. And he's like, it's absolutely right. It's the same with like design. Like, there's a lot of things where you're like, oh, I gotta make this animation look perfect so people remember. A lot of people don't remember it because there's a lot of things that their minds psychologically fill in off of the way they remember. So like in Sea of Thieves, we have like animations where you're like raising sails or doing stuff but you don't actually have the object in hand. It's just that the player's mind will fill it in. Like I had to go back at one point and be like, "Do we actually have that object in hand?" It's like, "No, it's invisible." Like you're letting the people fill in the blanks, and so that's a thing. And then you mentioned like practice makes things easier. I used to be so anxious that I couldn't eat in front of people. I couldn't go out, and that has greatly improved just because I kind of trapped myself in situations where I had to come face to face with my fears. It was so controlling, this fear. It's like an itchiness. It's like, I gotta run. I gotta hide. It's so uncomfortable. But the more I did it, like really, it got better. It didn't get better right away. Like the first 100 times or so, it was very uncomfortable, but like it has improved to the state where most people can't tell that I am terrified. So that's also a thing. And like there, you just touched on so many great pieces of advice. And I just like completely agree.
Now, there's one question that I do ask every single guest on the podcast. So, if you had to rebuild your entire career from scratch today, what would you do differently?
You mean like my whole journey?
Yeah, your entire career in games, like how you got in, like what would you do differently if you had to start, you rebuild your career from scratch? And you have, like, you're a fresh graduate and you just have your portfolio, your CV, you're a beginner.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I guess I guess I would, oh, like I wouldn't change. It's kind of like I don't regret anything that I've done.
Oh,
Because
it's not
um
in a perspective of if you regret anything. It's just more like in
I would,
today's world is a bit different, right? Like the industry is a bit different. So how would you navigate that?
yeah, I mean, I'd probably, you know, it's more of a frame of mind, I think. Because a lot of the times it's like my perfectionism controlling a lot of aspects of like how it went in my career. I feel like the perfectionism really blocked me in a lot of ways, where it's like, oh, I have to have the perfect CV, I have to have the perfect portfolio, I have to have the perfect feature. And like, really, it's like, I would have showed people my progress more. I would have been like, here's my crappy CV. Like, how do I improve upon it? Great. Here's my improved CV. How do I improve upon it? Instead of being like, no, I must work on it until it's perfect and then I show someone. Like throughout my whole career, that one thing has affected everything. And if I had done that a different way, I think things would have been a lot easier. Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting answer. And now to wrap it up, we're doing like a rapid fire round. There's no pressure, there's no right or wrong answer, just instinctively whatever comes to you. So, first question, one game you wish you had designed.
Oh no. Uh, oh, oh no. Um, okay, instinctively I just said Balatro? Balatro? I don't know how to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bellatrix. Okay. Um, Second one is best advice you have ever received in one sentence.
Best advice I have ever received in one sentence. Uh, be kinder to yourself. Yeah.
Um, Third one is you are stuck on a deserted island with one game and one console of your choice. What game and what console are you taking?
Oh gosh, that would be no, this is such a lame answer. I would I mean, but you only have one game on that
Yeah,
console, right? And
just one console, one game.
I don't know. I think this is so lame. I would say my Game Boy with Tetris. Just I have
Okay.
feelings towards it.
Okay. And the last one would be one skill that you can instantly learn outside of gaming, one skill that you could instantly learn
Oh,
and master.
oh. Uh, this is also dumb. I won't because I wanna I wanna be a swords master. I wanna fight with swords. Because I'm currently learning, so that's my answer.
That's great. That is fantastic. Okay, that was super fun. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I just want to mention, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this, even taking time to write nice comments. I really appreciate it, and I hope I can create more episodes that are very useful and valuable to you guys. And I again really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. So that's it for today, folks. If you like the video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel. Um, Nina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I'll see you guys next week with a new episode. Bye, guys.